हाय एवरीवन, मेरा नाम राहुल है एंड सीक्वल सीरीज़ में आप सभी का स्वागत है। आज हम लोग एक सीक्वल के कॉन्सेप्ट्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज़ सीक्वल कंस्ट्रेंट। और अपन जानेंगे व्हाई वी यूज़ दिस पर्टिकुलर कंस्ट्रेंट एंड रीज़न क्या है इस कंस्ट्रेंट को यूज़ करने का। So the main idea is to use this particular constraint is to limit the type of data which we are using. Okay, मतलब जो भी डेटा अपन इंसर्ट करने वाले हैं डेटाबेस में, जस्ट टू लिमिट द कंडीशन, जस्ट टू पुट कंडीशंस ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डेटा, whether that particular data which we are inserting is correct or into our format, or is it not out of the format we actually require. So let's get started. There are few constants type which we have in our SQL, and आज मैं cover करूँगा दो different constant, that is not null and check. So the main idea, like not null, why we use not null, so we will check it further. So to check at that, I have created a database called dataengineer.ai, and I'm just using this particular database. Now now you could see, आप देख सकते हैं, I am using this particular identity uh, check and not null constants uh, in our column while creating this particular student table. So what basically does it mean? What the use of not null? What is the use of check? So the use of not null, this particular constant, we use this particular constants constant not null to specify that any of the data which we are inserting in this particular column should not be null. Like हम क्रिएशन के समय ये डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं कि जो भी डेटा अपन डाल रहे हैं डेटाबेस में वो नल ना जाए. सो दैट इज़ वाई वी आर यूजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर नॉट नल कॉलम. एंड what if if we do not give data to this particular column, what will happen? So we will see these things also in this particular further use video, and we will also see the use of check constraint here. See, so I'm just trying to insert two values in this particular table, and you could see, okay, sorry, I haven't created that database table. So I have created the table called student. Okay, now I'm just trying to insert two values into this particular table, that is Rahul and Monu. You could see there are two records, Rahul and Monu, and along with that there is a roll number 1 and 2, which we are getting from identity, and we will also see, अपन देखेंगे कि how this particular identity works. Now let's try to insert a null value into a not null specified column. क्या होगा if we try to insert a null value in a column where we have already specified that it should be not null? So if we try to insert this particular record to that particular column, आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे subject 5 we have already mentioned that it should be not null. So if we try to insert it the SQL will not allow us to insert this particular, correct? Okay, so I'm just have corrected this particular insert statement, and if I try to execute it, you could see one row affected, and now I would be able to see the records, correct? So this is particularly student record 1 2 null constant. So this is the particular value which we have inserted. Now let's check the other constant we have, that is check constant. So what why we actually require check constant? Okay, so the main idea is to use this particular check constant is to determine some or set some conditions for our column, that like what type of data we are going to insert it. So इधर आप देख सकते हैं I have already mentioned the check condition for subjects. Subject 1 2 3 4, I have mentioned the same check condition, that it should be greater than, it should be lesser than 100, and it should be greater than or equal to 0. So क्योंकि क्योंकि सब्जेक्ट्स में वैल्यू 0 to 100 ही हो सकता है, वी कैन नॉट गो मोर देन 100 और लेस देन 0. So I have put this particular check constant. I'm just trying to insert this. Let's try. So what if I try to insert the record which is not in the range of that subject marks? So for subject 1 we have already mentioned that it should be between the condition, it should be uh, between the range 0 to 100. But what if we try to insert a range which is more than that particular range, उस particular range से बाहर होगा, तो क्या SQL allow it to insert? So no, it will not allow you to insert, because we have already mentioned that sub 1 should be lying between this particular records. So if I'm just मैंने इस insert को correct किया, and if you could see that I would be able to insert this particular value in this. So this is what we have for check and not null constraints. So not null constraints we use to ensure that none of the column go null, none of the column have the null values, and check constraint ensures whether if we have some specific condition for any of the columns, uh, so to check those condition we use check condition. Thank you so much. I will come with the next video. Thank you.